You know, when you're driving and suddenly that little check engine light pops on your dashboard.
Oh, yeah, the absolute worst feeling.
Right. It's just instant dread. And usually you just want the mechanic to, I don't know, plug in their diagnostic tool, read the error code, swap out a broken part, and just get you back on the road.
Yeah, it's a completely transactional experience.
Exactly. It's supposed to be highly efficient. Like the machine is broken, you fix the machine, you pay the bill, and end of story.
And it's really the standard expectation for almost any service industry today. We look for a very clean, binary exchange of information and labor.
But what happens when the actual machine is fine or, at least easily fixable? But the person operating the machine is the one flashing a hidden check engine light.
That is a fascinating way to frame it.
Welcome, everyone, to this custom deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're on a mission to explore how service professionals can actually support customers who are navigating life-altering loss.
Yeah, and we're going to be focusing specifically on the critical roles of building trust and exercising patience.
Right, so our primary source today is this really poignant reflection. It's titled, "The One Who's Never Done This Alone," and it's from episode 33 of The Human Diagnostic.
It's such a great piece.
It really is. And it centers on this guy, Dave Hartzell. He's a master HVAC technician with 45 years of experience, based in Kingfisher, Oklahoma.
And that experience is key. Dave isn't new to this. When you've spent 4.5 decades walking into strangers' homes,
Huh?
you aren't just reading equipment schematics anymore.
Yeah, you see everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You develop this highly sensitive diagnostic eye for human behavior. You learn to read the temperature of a house before you ever even look at the thermostat.
Wow, that's so true. So to set the stage for you listening, the scenario starts at this immaculate house. It's got a 22-year history with Dave's company.
One house, one system, continuous records.
Right. And Dave is greeted at the door by this well-dressed woman. She's perhaps 70 or older. And as he walks to the utility room, Dave notices a photo in the hallway.
Just a simple photo.
Yeah, of the woman and her husband, younger. But it's that kind of photo that has been hanging in the exact same spot for so long, it feels like it's structurally holding up the drywall, like it's a part of the house.
It establishes this deeply settled, familiar domestic scene. Right.
Absolutely. So this starts out as a totally routine service call. He's there for a blower motor and a thermostat. But it very quickly shifts into this profound lesson on human connection.
It really takes a turn.
Okay, let's unpack this. Think of this service call not as fixing a machine, but as reading the hidden check engine light of a human being in distress.
That's the perfect analogy. So Dave diagnoses the system, right? Needs a blower motor, needs a thermostat. The work is straightforward.
Right, the mechanical side is easy for him.
Exactly. But when he finishes explaining the diagnosis to the woman, she looks at him and asks, "What do you think I should do?"
Which, sounds like a normal question, right?
On the surface, yeah. But with 45 years of experience, Dave knows this isn't just a request to confirm her mechanical instincts.
He knows there's more to it.
Right. Because she reveals that her husband passed away in February, and Dave is standing there in June. Her husband always handled these decisions.
Oh, wow. So she's been alone for months.
Yeah, think about that timeline. She has managed 4 months of her first summer alone. The AC is failing, and she's asking a total stranger for guidance because suddenly she is the only person in the room making decisions.
Okay, but I have to push back here for a second.
So go ahead.
In a world where service professionals are, explicitly taught to give multiple options like good, better, best, and let the customer decide to avoid liability, isn't it super risky to take on the burden of making the choice for them?
It's definitely a risk, conventional speaking.
Right. Like, how does a professional know when a question is about mechanics versus when it's, like, a cry for help?
What's fascinating here is how this specific interaction perfectly illustrates a deeper psychological reality. It's not just about liability, it's about cognitive capacity.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Well, the source material introduces some intense scientific context to explain why this woman is struggling so much with a standard 30-minute conversation about an AC unit.
Because to a lot of people, it's just a thermostat, right?
Exactly. But to understand her struggle, we have to look at John Bowlby's attachment theory.
Oh, I've heard of him, the attachment styles guy.
Yes. Bowlby's research established that the bond between long-term partners isn't just emotional. It functions at a neurological level as a co-regulatory system.
Wait, really? A co-regulatory system?
Yes. Your nervous system literally organizes itself around the other person. We're talking heart rates, cortisol production, breathing patterns, sleep cycles.
Oh, wow. I had no idea it was that physical.
It is entirely biological. Losing a partner means losing actual regulatory infrastructure in your brain. It's not just a metaphor.
That is wild.
And it gets more specific. There's this concept called the dual process model of grief by Strube and Schutt from 1999.
The dual process model. Okay, what's that?
They found that bereaved individuals oscillate between two phases. First is loss-oriented processing. That's the crying, the emotional grief, what we normally think of.
Right, the traditional mourning phase?
Exactly. But then they violently swing into restoration-oriented processing.
Restoration-oriented, like adapting to the new life.
Precisely. Handling the practical consequences, shifting roles, paying the taxes, making the decisions the husband used to make. And the source notes this restoration burden is often just as hard as the emotional grief itself.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Think about Bowlby's co-regulation, like a house's load-bearing wall.
Oh, that's a great visual.
Right. When you remove the partner, that load-bearing wall is gone. The remaining structure, which is the widow's executive bandwidth, is temporarily compromised.
Yes, exactly.
So making an everyday choice about a thermostat isn't just a small choice. It feels like she's trying to hold up the entire roof all by herself.
That's exactly what's happening. She is deep in that restoration phase. She's standing there, composed, but her executive function is completely depleted by the sheer mechanics of running a life solo.
Okay, so that explains the science of what she's going through. But building on that psychological toll, how does Dave actually apply this?
Right, the tactical application.
Yeah, like how does one support a customer experiencing this impaired executive function?
Well, the source highlights what definitely does not work. And that is moving fast.
Moving fast.
Yeah.
But isn't speed the goal in customer service?
Usually, yes.
Yeah.
But treating this like a normal estimate, quickly covering options, dropping a tablet in front of her to sign is a terrible idea here.
Because she's overwhelmed.
Exactly. In this specific state of grief, speed reads as apathy. The customer just lacks the executive bandwidth to process it, so Dave does the opposite.
He slows down.
He deliberately slows down. He practices immense patience. He goes through each item fully. He doesn't just say, you need a blower motor. He explains what it does, what failing looks like, the cost of doing it now versus waiting.
He breaks it down so she can actually digest it.
Yes, piece by piece.
But, okay, I have to ask, how can a service professional realistically slow down their entire day like that when they have, a quota of calls to hit?
It's tough. Absolutely.
Right, like how do they balance the rigid demands of a dispatch schedule with the deep patience required by a grieving customer? Because time is money.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, taking the time to explain the mechanics patiently isn't just about the machine. It's about providing the customer enough information to feel grounded in a very disorienting moment.
So it's an investment in trust.
Exactly. He is temporarily lending her his executive function. He's absorbing the anxiety of the moment. And that brings us to this crucial turning point in the story regarding how he frames his care.
Oh, yes. The language he uses, this blew my mind.
Right. After he explains everything, Dave tells the woman what he would do if it were his mother's house.
His mother's house, not his house.
Exactly. The deliberate choice of words is incredible. He didn't say, my house.
Why does that matter so much?
Because saying my mother's house signals to the woman that he isn't treating her as a generic customer. He is placing her in a category worthy of familial protection.
Wow. That completely changes the dynamic.
It answers her unspoken questions. Can I trust this answer? Can I trust this person to actually care at getting it right for me?
It's tactical empathy.
Yes. And based on that trust, he makes his recommendation. He advises replacing the motor now, because that's the priority, and just watching the thermostat until the fall.
Even though the thermostat is technically old.
Right, it's old, but it's functional. And she asks him, would it be foolish to wait on the thermostat?
She's asking for permission.
Exactly, and Dave answers directly. He says, no, it's working. We'll check it in the fall.
We'll check it. That's so powerful.
He gives her the real permission she needs to make the right call without feeling guilty or anxious.
And right after that, there's this incredible moment where she remarks that her husband would have liked talking to Dave.
Yeah, she says he liked knowing how things worked.
Which is, bringing the ghost right into the room. A lot of people would freeze up at that.
Oh, absolutely. Most people get super awkward.
But Dave doesn't brush it off. He responds brilliantly. He says, he chose a good house and kept it up well. The records go back a long way.
It is such a beautiful response.
So what does this all mean? To me, it's the ultimate masterclass in trust. Instead of awkwardly pivoting back to the invoice, Dave actively acknowledges the man's presence.
Yes, he validates 22 years of them building a home together.
He honors the past.
And this raises an important question about how service professionals handle the physical silence of a grieving home.
The silence, what do you mean?
Well, the source notes the house had been very quiet lately, and while Dave was working, she didn't hover, but she simply stayed near him in the utility room.
Just to have someone there.
Yes, it's a testament to the comforting presence of a trusted professional. He's bringing life and noise back into this space that has been so quiet since February.
That gives me chills.
Yeah.
So what's the resolution of all this?
The woman decides on the motor. She thanks Dave twice and explicitly tells him she feels better about the whole thing.
She felt safe making the decision.
Exactly. And Dave drives away thinking about that photo in the hallway and the specific courage it takes to stand in a utility room and make a solo decision for the very first time.
It takes so much courage. And for you listening, whether you are an HVAC tech, a financial advisor, or just a neighbor, recognizing this restoration phase in others is just vital.
It really is universal.
True service isn't about rushing to the most efficient outcome. It's about building trust through patience and making sure the person feels they aren't making the choice alone.
Because you might be the only load-bearing wall they have that day.
Exactly. So as you go through your week, consider this. The emotional weight of grief often hides in the most mundane practicalities.
It really does.
When someone asks you a seemingly simple, practical question, what invisible restoration burden might they actually be asking you to help them carry? Take a beat, slow down, and maybe, just maybe, be the person who helps them hold up the roof.